your fibula. You might remember the fibula is a non-weight bearing bone, whereas tibia is weight bearing. So you can actually break both. And take your both off. Yeah, a little lateral malleolus over here, maybe the medial malleolus over here. So there's no POTS fracture has to do with the ankle.
And this is the one that you could actually be walking around and not even know you've injured.
Well, this one you would, because if you broke the tibia, you would sure, yeah.
You would scream, holler.
If you just break the fibula,
then
you probably not. Correct, yeah, because that one's a non-weight bearing bone.
Is that just an inversion?
You can go either way. You can invert it or evert it. You're just going to snap the ankle either way. So, yeah, usually most people have a problem. They usually roll their ankles to the outside. The outside is more of an issue, like sprains on the outside. So you sort of can't go with. Now, Cole's fracture, it's called Cole's fracture. I call it a Collie's fracture. Like a dog, a collie. ID then. So Cole's fracture here. So this one I say you're walking your dog, you're walking your collie, and the dog sees a squirrel or whatever it is and takes off and pulls you, and you land with your hand outward. When you land, your wrist is forced backward and snaps your wrist back and breaks it. So you have a breaking your radius, the distal end of the radius, is forced backwards, so it snaps it off. So the distal end of the radius is snapped backwards. So I call that Cole's fracture or Collie's fracture. Where you're walking your dog. Okay, almost there. A few more. Here's pictures. You want to check them out on the x-ray. So again, x-ray will show bony fractures right through here. So any little dark line you see coming through there is a break. Unless it's a child, right? You might see like a plate. Anyway, so you find your little wrist bone. You see a fracture through here. It doesn't go all the way through. That area sort of blocks on that, but there's actually this little green stick fracture, so again, it can happen in the radius of the humerus, but that would be here. One side is splinter, other side is still intact. Over here, there's an impact fracture showing this. Here's the head of the humerus. Here's the shaft, and it's driven up, so the end of it should be like here and then come down, right? But it's driven up here, so to pull this down like 3 inches or so going up that side. Guys have like any good x-rays to look at? Crazy stuff? Maybe? Yeah. There's a commute fracture, so sort of splinters. Really hard to see, but just try to show it like this here. Open fracture, that would stick through your skin. Again, you just can't really see that on that view through there. Be more of a real-eye sort of a person there. POTS fracture, so you can see a break through the fibula, break through there. So it to be like so far down at the actual ankle joint itself, but it's somewhere pretty close to there. And there's my Cole's fracture, Collie's fracture, break through. Actually, is that your radius or the ulna? Yeah, they have these flip-flops. I think they're flip-flop in your book too. Really, that's your radius, and this is your ulna, so we have them labeled wrong. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the
If I get it wrong on the chest, I can say
exactly, yeah, that's the problem.
Give me credit, man.
Exactly. Okay, so we're like almost there. A couple more slides, and we'll call this chapter done. How about a stress fracture? Sounds like you got to have stress or trauma sort of thing, right? So it's a repeated sort of activity that you do, like marching band. Maybe it could be, you have to be some sort of really traumatic in there too. Yeah, but anyways, you have these very, very small tears, like minute tears, in the bone tissue due to that repeated strenuous activities like marching band,
Gymnasts.
ROTC, gymnasts, joggers, right? All those people that have that repetitive activity sort of thing. Okay. So that usually you get the tibia involved, right? Because it has to do with like shin splints sort of thing, right? We're going to talk about shin splints, whatever. So usually that one as well. And then just give you a couple other definitions too, like osteoporosis. That's my next term word through here. What does this mean? But osteo is bone, porous is like moth-eaten, right, or spongy in a way. And so that has to do with, again, that bone becoming like demineralized due to the loss of calcium and magnesium, all that good stuff. It becomes very weak. And a lot of times you see that in the elderly, right? Osteoporosis, think about that as like an elderly disease. Yeah, so usually, late 50s, early 60s, 70s. And a lot of things too we find too. If I remember this guy from like lab, the little vertebra. And then we have the disc in between. I can draw like another vertebra sort of thing here. And so what happens here is this is made up of spongy bone. Right, so my little vertebra is a spongy bone thing. And usually for some reason it sort of like really affects the spongy bone, this osteoporosis. So you have all these little holes that are sort of like eaten into your trabecular pattern over here. Now the integrity of that vertebra has been compromised, so what happens typically is you just can't support the weight any longer, and the front of the vertebra will collapse. And so you get these like wedge-shaped vertebrae now, here. Like just the weight of the vertebra and the body will collapse them down. And this one will collapse too. The fronts of those bodies collapse. So what happens to the shape of your spine then? It curves, right. So then you get the people that are like this walking around, right? They're all like,
Quasimodo.
you got, yeah, look at it. So all those vertebral bodies have collapsed and they come forward like this. So a lot of times you see that with the whole osteoporosis thing. They actually do some pretty cool stuff now too. They can inject those bones like a cement, fill them back up, good thing. Yeah. Cool. All right, so that's our osteoporosis thing. Bone repair, we're not doing it. We're going to skip all that stuff. So you probably know bones heal, right? Replace themselves. Hey, do bones typically break in the same place over and over again?
No.
Yeah, if I have a fracture right through there, would it probably fracture in the same spot ever again, or like
No.
on either side?
It can happen, yeah. Oh, doesn't it?
Typically, does it happen, or not usually?
Not usually.
Not
But it
normally,
can
right?
happen.
Right, so when you heal a bone, or repair a bone, that spot that's been fractured is usually like way stronger than the rest of the bone. So if you have another fracture in that bone, typically it's like right above it or right below it then. But usually never right in that same exact spot again.
That's
Typically.
like reinforced stitching.
Yeah, it's like reinforcement around the area. The body helps all the stress and it will be better. All right, so we're skipping all the bone repair stuff. Skipping. Yeah, with this, we have to go on here. Hand or foot? Hand. Broken, which bone?
Fifth metatarsal. Distal.
Good job. Fifth metacarpal.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And is it a child or an adult?
Adult.
It's all the pretty long fingers for a child.
You sure? Sounds good. Yeah. So what is this little line here then?
Screws.
There.
Cartilage.
Cartilage, yeah. So between your finger, your proximal phalanx, and that metacarpal, there's a little bit of cartilage there. So you can see the cartilage shows up as a black line, just like a fracture would as well. And also if you had a plate, which you can actually see little plates that be down through here, right, just off the back side of the head. Yeah, definitely a fracture to that fifth
How do you do
metacarpal
this?
on the adult.
That's not
How
the
can you do
ring.
that?
How they do it? That's probably they call it like a barroom fracture. As they're fighting, and they come up and they get this way, and you break that right there. Fifth metacarpal, so it's like a boxer's fracture or barroom. So does that force you there? You actually have other ones too. They're called like slipper fractures. And you get up in the middle of the night and you're walking, you like stub your toe on like a toy or something, or on the bedroom or whatever. Break. Yeah, so it's like a bedroom fracture, a slipper fracture. You have like names for all these different fractures. We just like a few. That's probably like a barroom fracture for that one. So. All right, so do a little bit of calcium homeostasis and call it done. Yeah, we're almost there. Okay, so maybe we'll slide. I don't know, we'll see. Let's see what we want to do. Okay, like early on, we said that bones had a lot of calcium and magnesium and phosphorus and all that great stuff, and you got to have a certain level of calcium in the body at all times because your heart needs the calcium so it beats properly. Without it, you would die. So make sure your calcium levels are just so. Have you heard of things like calcium channel blockers? People like heart disease helps increase it. Okay, so calcium is really, really important for heart contraction. So we have to make sure we can maintain that calcium in a certain balance for us. And there's two hormones I gave you. I gave you calcitonin, and I gave you parathyroid hormone. Now PTH, that's like the abbreviation for parathyroid hormone. Ready to write that up there for you? Parathyroid, let's get the sloppy there, hormone, over there, PTH, that one. I said one would increase blood calcium levels, and the other one would decrease them. So whose job is to increase my blood calcium levels?
PTH.
This one, I said it was a bigger word, longer word, so longer meant more. And so more means more, so more letters means more calcium. So that one would increase my calcium. That means this one would decrease my calcium. Okay, so again we're doing the bone's role in maintaining calcium homeostasis. So these hormones affect the bone and some other body systems to help us maintain blood calcium levels. So let's do the first thing first. We'll do, we want to increase blood calcium levels, let's say. So I produce a lot of parathyroid hormone from my parathyroid glands, which is located where? Do you remember?
Anterior to the.
Yeah, that's your little thyroid gland, like right here in your throat. Yeah, you have little glands that are embedded into the thyroid, and they're called parathyroid because they're like on either side or parallel to, right, my thyroid gland. So they produce my parathyroid hormone. So I pump out a whole bunch of parathyroid hormone. How does that affect my bones then? We'll do bones first. What would happen with parathyroid hormone and my bones? If I'm trying to increase my blood calcium.
Making them bigger.
No, it's gonna take the calcium out of your bones.
Yeah, I'm gonna take calcium out of my bones because I'm trying to increase my levels, so I have to take the calcium out of my bones. If I want to do that, which cell type should I use? An osteoblast, an osteoclast, osteocyte, or osteoclast? Remember, osteoclasts break bone down. When you break bone down, you release calcium from that because bones are made of calcium. If you break them apart, I release the calcium. So this does increase my osteoclast